Hi, welcome to China Currents. I'm Chris. On September 20th, the Chinese National Computer Virus Emergency Response Center released a full investigation report on China's internet security. It disclosed that the United States has been involved in hacking and surveillance activities targeting Huawei's headquarters since 2009. According to the report, the Chinese State Security Department successfully extracted a spyware sample called Second Date during the investigation of a recent cyber attack on Northwestern Polytechnical University. It was revealed that this spyware was developed by the U.S. National Security Agency and had been covertly operating within thousands of network devices worldwide. The NSA, through its specialized hacking unit called Tailored Access Operations and Advanced Weaponry, has repeatedly launched systematic and platform-based attacks against China, with the aim of stealing vital data resources. It's well known that the US has long been engaged in massive eavesdropping and cyber espionage activities against countries, including its allies, taking advantage of its technological superiority. This revelation sheds light on the extent of the cyber espionage operations conducted by the US against the Chinese tech giants. As the cyber domain increasingly becomes a new battleground for safeguarding national security, CVERC stated it is imperative for the country to strengthen cybersecurity awareness and capabilities. Next up, on September 17th, a drafted report for the EU was leaked to the media. The report urges European leaders to take strong measures to reduce their reliance on China for batteries. Multiple media outlets reported that this document will be a focal point of the EU's upcoming economic security meeting next month. As the electric vehicle market continues to expand, the EU has become increasingly dependent on China for its critical components, including fuel cells and lithium-ion batteries. European leaders are concerned about repeating the same pattern as their previous reliance on Russia before the Russo-Ukrainian conflict. Prior to the disclosure of the draft report, the EU had already implemented policies to restrict supplies from China. Starting in 2024, Chinese battery producers will face tougher environmental reviews in Europe. The EU has also planned to impose limits on import of strategic resources from any single supplier country. While the Chinese Foreign Ministry has not yet responded, discussions have already begun on China's internet. People commented that the EU strategy may ultimately have negative consequences. Many pointed out that Europe was compelled to turn to expensive liquefied natural gas from the US after cutting off gas trade with Russia. Critics argue that decoupling from China will only benefit the US, as it seeks to leverage its NATO allies in its effort to contain China. Next up, let's turn to Chinese diplomacy. On September 17th, according to both Beijing and Washington, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met multiple times with the White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan over the weekend in Malta, where candid, substantive, and constructive talks were held. Wang Yi emphasized the Taiwan issue constitutes the foremost and inviolable red line in Sino-US relations. He urged the U.S. to abide by three landmark China-US joint communiques and fulfill its commitment to not support Taiwan separatism. During the talks, both sides agreed to continue implementing the significant consensus reached at the Bali summit between the leaders of the two countries. They committed to maintaining high-level exchanges, conducting consultation on Asia-Pacific affairs, maritime issues, and diplomatic policies. The two sides also delved into international and regional issues, including the situation in the Asia-Pacific region, Ukraine, and Korean Peninsula. 4 days later, on September 21st, China's top diplomat Wang Yi held a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in St. Petersburg. The meeting involved detailed discussions on crucial matters pertaining to the strategic security interests of both countries. President Vladimir Putin conveyed his warm regards to Chinese President Xi Jinping and acknowledged the significant progress achieved through their landmark meeting in March. He emphasized the successful cooperation between Russia and China in various fields, highlighting Russia's ability to effectively handle the sanctions imposed by the US and EU. He expressed his anticipation for further collaboration with China within the framework of the Belt and Road Initiative. The ongoing Ukraine war was also on the agenda. President Vladimir Putin reiterated Russia's willingness to pursue a negotiated settlement to the conflict. Next up, let's turn to Chinese economy. In response to market rumors of massive layoffs at its Shanghai Research and Development Department, American chip giant Qualcomm made a statement on September 21st, clarifying that these reports were overstated. The company did confirm that it anticipates some staffing adjustments due to ongoing uncertainties in the macroeconomic and demand environment. Qualcomm had previously mentioned in its third quarter earnings conference call and its 10Q report submitted in August that due to the continued uncertainty in the macroeconomic and demand environment, the company expects to take further adjustment measures to achieve sustained investment in key growth opportunities and business diversification. While the corresponding plans are still being developed, the main measures are expected to include layoffs. However, the market rumors of massive layoffs, office closures, and withdrawal from Shanghai are exaggeration of the truth, according to the company's statement. Next up, on September 20th, Guangzhou became the first Tier 1 city in China to relax housing purchase restrictions. The Guangzhou Municipal People's Government Office issued a notice allowing local registered households to purchase up to 2 residential properties in designated urban districts. Non-local households can purchase 1 residential property if they show proof of paying individual income tax or social insurance in Guangzhou continuously for 2 years prior. The notice also aims to enhance public rental housing protection. With this move, Guangzhou becomes the first Tier 1 city in China to partially ease their housing purchase restrictions. Recently, under the favorable policies such as recognizing housing but not loans and reduction in commercial loan interest rate, Guangzhou's real estate market has shown signs of recovery. Analysts believe administrative curbs will be gradually phased out in lower-tier cities below Tier 1, and Tier 1 cities will take a gradual approach, starting by easing restrictions in suburbs before moving into urban centers. The incremental loosening measures aim to stabilize the real estate industry and prevent systemic financial risks. Next up, on September 17th, a hashtag criticizing Apple's website trended on Chinese Weibo. Chinese netizens shared an image of the customer service representative featured on the Apple website. The staff member has her hair in a pigtail style with her eyes squinted. The picture provoked many Chinese to denounce her appearance, considering Apple deliberately insults the nation. However, it was later confirmed that the portrait was of a Native American employee based in California, and the same image was being used on Apple's website in the United States, Japan, and Korea, rather than exclusively on its Chinese website. Despite the clarification, Chinese voices continue to demand an apology from Apple. This controversy arises from cultural differences between nations. The portrait is connected to stereotypes of slanted eyes and a Q hairstyle against Chinese people of the late Qing dynasty. Years of war and foreign intervention marked the period as the century of humiliation starting point. However, it's important to note that indigenous employees should not be criticized for her appearance. Conflict occurs as many Chinese lack knowledge of the indigenous people in America, just like many Americans have no idea about Chinese history. Nevertheless, such situations place multinational corporations like Apple in a dilemma when formulating international branding strategies. It becomes crucial for companies to carefully consider the diverse cultural backgrounds in a globalized market. Next up, the World Intellectual Property Organization recently unveiled the 2023 edition of the Global Innovation Index Technology Cluster Ranking on its official website. The GII serves as a comprehensive assessment of innovation performance, encompassing approximately 80 indicators across 132 economies. The latest rankings showcased an intriguing trend. The top 5 technology clusters worldwide are currently situated in East Asia, with China taking the lead with the highest number of clusters. As a globally recognized assessment of innovation capabilities of countries and economies, the official announcement of this year's GII rankings is scheduled for September 27th. The GII 2023 focused on the theme of technology clusters, emphasizing the pivotal role of innovation hubs in fostering regional and global collaboration, as well as the challenges and opportunities of cluster development in the post-pandemic era. The pre-release of the GII Technology Clusters ranking sheds light on regions boasting the most concentrated global technological activities. Tokyo Yokohama in Japan emerged as the largest technology cluster globally, closely followed by Shenzhen, Hong Kong, Guangzhou, and Seoul. China's Beijing cluster and Shanghai's Suzhou cluster also secured notable positions on the list. According to this year's GII findings, China now boasts 24 technology clusters, marking an increase from 21 clusters recorded in the previous year. Notably, several middle-income economies experienced substantial growth in technological output within their respective technology clusters. India, in particular, boasts 4 top-tier technology clusters, with Chennai and Bangalore witnessing the most significant surge in the density of innovators and scientific authors. Furthermore, emerging economies such as Brazil, India, Turkey, as well as countries beyond the top 100 ranking like Argentina, Egypt, and Thailand have witnessed rapid development in their technology clusters. WIPO Director General Darren Tang highlighted the criticality of technology clusters in driving innovation performance for any economy. He emphasized that by fostering collaboration among scientific communities, business, and entrepreneurs, these cities or regions can establish an ecosystem that effectively transforms scientific creativity into tangible impacts. Last but not least, last week marks the 92nd anniversary of the Mukden Incident, which happened on September 18, 1931. Japanese troops blew up a section of the railway in Shenyang and accused the Chinese military of doing it. Using the blast as a pretext, Japanese forces attacked the Beidayin garrison and bombarded Shenyang at the same night, launching a full-scale invasion of northeastern China, then Manchuria. The 3 northeastern provinces subsequently fell under Japanese occupation. The incident marked the beginning of the Second Sino-Japanese War, which the Chinese will win after 14 years of unwavering and arduous struggle. Last week, commemorative events are being held across China in various forms, with air raid sirens echoing in most cities to remind public to remember this poignant chapter of history. 92 years have passed. The once devastated land has undergone a remarkable transformation, illustrating the indomitable spirit of the nation that turned adversity into progress. The anniversary serves as a reminder of the sacrifice made and the hard-fought victory achieved, emphasizing the importance of cherishing and safeguarding peace and prosperity. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching this episode of China Currents. If you have any thoughts and comments about our show, please reach us at the email address below. I'm Chris, looking forward to hearing from you, and see you next time.